Important message. I think it's an important message this morning that I want to share. Personal one. Are either of you playing this morning or today? Richard, Emma, or got anyone in the family that's playing? See who else comes on. So there's 4. Emma, I've got you down twice. Oh, I'm one of them. So there's 3. It's just 3 of us in the house. So, the question that's going through my mind this morning, I've been on the bike this morning, why I do what I do. It's quite deep, but we've all got an interesting story. Richard, Northern Ireland, wow. I think we've talked about this before, haven't we? I was once the lead bowling coach for the Irish, for Cricket Ireland, and often went up to Northern Ireland. What an amazing place. We played a series against Zimbabwe and South Africa, played at Stormont, played at, do you call it Derry or Londonderry? Went across, we hired a coach and went across the top of Northern Ireland. What an amazing, beautiful country. Kind of really reflective this morning. Why do I do what I do and have done for the last? Became qualified coach in 1998. I'm still coaching now. At the core of it, sometimes I think it's worthwhile. Just why? Got a 4-year-old. That's all he says at the moment. Why? So my story is an interesting one in that it's probably been told thousands of times already. I was a talented cricketer, relied a lot on my talent, became a professional cricketer without really having to work that hard to get a contract. Was a pro cricketer, 1990 and 91. Amazing. Played against Sachin Tendulkar in his first ever overseas trip to England when he was 16. Got him out for naught. I didn't. But for 2 years. So why do I do what I do? Why do I coach? Why do I look to help people? At the core of it, it is undoubtedly, I want to help people not make the same mistakes as I made. That is what drives me. My weak point, because that, and it's a pretty good purpose, right? It's a pretty good why, I think. Help people. My weakness is when I see behaviors or anything that reminds me of me when I had my opportunity. So things like turning up late, sloppy practice, eating poorly, alcohol. Don't drink now. I have the odd one. I had a 0% Corona last night whilst watching the football. That never used to be the case. Drinking habits, eating habits, just being messy, not structured, not planned. And it's easy to do that when you're young. But my weak point is it doesn't take me long to get wound up when I start seeing the behaviors that reminds me of me in somebody else. And it winds me up internally more than externally, by the way. And it's a skill that I've had to become better and better at staying internal, analysing the situation, analysing the behaviour, and then choosing, depending on the person in front of me, choosing the right language and approach in order to help them understand what they're doing is putting a ceiling on their own potential, I guess. Um, so that's why I do what I do still now. Just turned 56. I like to set a good example, lead by example, which is why I try and stay in nick. I'm probably fitter now than I ever was when I was a player. It it always amazes me when I get messages or am working with somebody and they say, I want to be a pro cricketer. I want to play for England. Um, I want to be the best that I can be, whatever that means. Nobody really knows. It's all guesswork, isn't it? Um, but we can certainly kind of pick out, right, what are you currently doing? What are you currently doing? What is it you want within the next year? What are you not doing now that you need to do in order to be that person to achieve that? Because anyone who sets goals, they're goals because they haven't achieved it yet. And if they were doing everything that they needed to do, they would have already achieved it. So something has got to change. In order for anybody to achieve anything, they need to turn themselves into a different person. For sometimes it's only small little tweaks. For others, it's big. I should have had a 12 to 15 year playing career. I needed to be a different person, a different human in order to not just be a 2-year professional cricketer, but to go to become a 12 to 15-year professional cricketer. Surround myself with different people that challenge me. Really look internal about everything that I do around technical, tactical, physical, mental, lifestyle. The lifestyle element really was the thing that was wanting. Probably a bit around work ethic as well, because I often think that talented people rely on talent, and it's often the work ethic that can show that talent more often than not, the work ethic behind the scenes. But talent can often, not all the time, but can often produce lazy people, lazy cricketers, because they just turn up and they just do it right, and they're better than most people. It always interests me. I want to play. I want to be a pro cricketer. I want to play for England. And then we start having a look at, well, why haven't you achieved that already? And as long as they're honest and they're giving you honest answers, I'm just listening to my 4-year-old in there. Yeah.
This thing game and I'm trying. I don't like it because
Can you two just watch Jurassic Park without fighting? I think we've got Rafi coming to join us. I forgot where I was. The only way you can keep progressing it better, and the only chance you've got of achieving any sort of goals, is what's your starting point? What does that look like? Where you want to get to? Where are the gaps? And then working out what the simple things you can do right now today in order to take a step closer to becoming that person you want to be. For instance, getting up 10 minutes early and doing some mobility. It's only ever really simple things. For instance, whenever you make any food, go protein first and then veg and then carbs. You all right? Do you want to come say hello? Yeah. Do you want to come say hello? Did he?
Yeah.
Say hello. You can't see them, but say hello. There's Emma, Richard, Manas. Do you want to say hello? No. Okay. I need you to do me a favour. Can you go back in, talk? Just sit next to Sebby and be quiet, and I'll be in there in a minute, okay? Okay. Um, it always interests me when club cricketers believe they should be pro cricketers and they believe they should be playing at a higher standard when they go to bed at 1 a.m. last night on the night before a game day. Club cricket. Club cricket is their window. But it always fascinates me when they honestly believe that that's okay as part of their kind of preparation to go out and perform. Club cricket is your window, that's your opportunity. And bowlers, I honestly believe that 1 every 3 games, bowlers who really do have a chance, they ought to be taking 5 wickets once every 3 games if they truly are serious about it. They train well. And yet, a lot of club cricketers, um, alcohol's a bit of a thing at the moment, isn't it? A bit of a topic. We know that, alcohol is part of teamship for whatever reason, rightly or wrongly. Probably always will be. And there's an element of, and that is important. I don't think there's necessarily a real issue around that, but there could be for some people. We do know that any alcohol at all affects sleep, so therefore it affects a superpower, sleep, that could get you in the right frame of mind, rested, energized the following day to go out and play of cricket. So it's not the alcohol necessarily; it's how it affects sleep. I once did a study where it was a company called First Beat, where I had a sensor attached there, and it went across my body and underneath my heart, and I walked for 3 days, and it basically logged everything to do with circulation, heart, everything. Okay, and one of those 3 days, me and Emily went to a party, and I started drinking it. It wasn't. This is just to give you an example, and I don't do this all the time, by the way. Started drinking alcohol at 7 p.m. It was a party in London, and we finished at 11. Got back home at 12:30, in bed by 1 a.m. Slept through till 10, and I reckon I had maybe 6, maybe 7 bottles of drink, not massive. And so 1 a.m. got up at 10 a.m. So I was thinking, oh, brilliant, 9 hours sleep. But actually, what these sensors told me in the report was that whilst I was asleep, my body was working overtime through the toxins and eating late because it was a party from the alcohol. So actually, I only actually got to sleep at 7 a.m. So I got 3 hours sleep. So in bed for 10, but only 3 hours sleep when my body was rested and it was trying to recover from the previous day. You think about, if people, club cricketers, taking it back to cricket, performances get you noticed, especially consistent ones. And I think the bowlers they have an advantage over batters because batters, you only get one ball, one bad decision, one ball that rolls along the floor from the wicket, hits you on the pads or bowls you. You have one opportunity. Bowlers, we have more opportunity. We bowl a bad ball, right? It's okay. You walk back to your mark, you got another opportunity. So I think bowlers have it better. That is why I think bowlers that have a chance ought to be taking minimum 4 wickets. I said 5 wickets earlier. I know that there are some restrictions. So a minimum 4 wicket hauls once every 3 games. I honestly believe that. You got 2 spells. Some people have got 3 spells. But club cricket, alcohol, if you're serious about it, choose at the right times. I didn't when I had my professional playing opportunity and I got found out. I didn't have the work ethic. I didn't surround myself with good people who challenged me. I didn't arrive late. The first morning, was saying this story to somebody else earlier, a couple of days ago. Lateness. What are the free things that doesn't cost anything, being on time was one of them. And I was arriving late my first morning as a professional cricketer. As I drove through the gates at the county ground, Bristol, on Neville Road, as I drove through the gates, this is before mobile phones, so I couldn't call through to say I was going to be late. The whole squad, which I was part of, were running as a group around the ground. And I just drove in. How embarrassing is that? So it doesn't cost you anything to be early. It doesn't cost you anything to pack your bags the night before. It doesn't cost you anything to just have a thought about, right, is what I'm about to do going to make me better today on a match day, and even the day before match day. Match day -1 is really important. I'm saying all of this because it was a reflective moment. Why do I get up and still want to coach? I'm now coaching. We recently moved to Devon. It's an amazing place. I'm looking at, this is a viewing area, balcony over our garden. We're in the middle of a town in Holsworthy, but you cannot hear the town. The church is kind of that way, and back up, you can hear the church bells. I can hear the birds. It's just amazing. And today is sports clubs days with the boys. But why do I do what I do? It's to get people better, to help them achieve whatever it is they want to achieve. I'm loving now, I have to admit, I am loving going right back where it all started for me, coaching the basics, the foundations of the game, cricket. So I've started in primary schools, 8-year-olds. I've gone up to international level, international tours, World Cup final, under-19s. And I have to admit that I'm really, really enjoying working with youngsters, fun, competition, keeping it simple, very, very limited technical chat, more fun, setting up challenges, and they have to work out how they're going to navigate through obstacles in order to bowl the ball through a tyre or something like that. I'm loving it. And I'm actually I'm talking less and less technique. I understand technique and I understand science, but I don't believe that players need to. So Holsworthy has been an amazing start for us, and this is where I'm going to be based. So unfortunately not in Northern Ireland. But obviously we can travel. Anyway, that's me. That is my message this morning. Please, I've got about 5 minutes before I need to grab a shower, and then we need to take Seb to football. Let me just have a little. Mark. Mark, it's fine. Technical question. Don't apologise. You need to be, if you could time it, running in, jumping forwards, you need a stiff back leg. There's normally a little bit of flex, and that's okay. But if the flex, so that's calf, shin, if the flex is too much, it's difficult to stay up and keep moving forwards at the target. You almost want. So how do you get a more upright position at back foot contact? How do you get a stiff back leg? Ankle, calf, strong quads, strong hamstrings, strong glutes. Glutes are so underestimated in terms of what they can do to keep you upright. But it's important because if you spend too long on your back leg, you're going to struggle to keep moving forwards. And the position you need to be in, that magical position at release, upright, chest upright, moving towards a target. Everything keeps moving towards a target. That can only happen if you. It's almost like you want to land. If I'm moving in this direction, this is my leg, my back leg. You want to land and almost be as stiff as possible, and for that to almost be a table leg to drop you into front foot contact. If your back leg, collapse is an easy word for me to say. I don't really know what a collapse is, other than working it back from that point of release. If somebody is physically finding it very difficult to bowl up, to stay tall, to bowl over, not necessarily a brace front leg, but an upright front leg, to keep them upright, chest upright at the target, it normally means that their back leg is flexing too much. So less time back foot, more time front foot, because what you can do is, if you're spending a lot of time over your front, pulling over your front leg, you can use all your body. So bowling starts on the ground up. And if you are upright and still moving at pace towards the target, you can recruit your legs, your glutes, your core, your chest. There's lots of rotation and flexion going on, obviously, with upper body, but you can keep moving at the target. And if your big muscle groups are moving at a certain pace, by the time that transfers up into your smaller muscle groups, it's the same amount of force, but your smaller muscle groups then move quicker. But that only happens if you get off your back leg quickly. I hope that answers the question. I got very technical then as well, didn't I? You can train it. You can absolutely train it. But I honestly believe that that's why I'm really enjoying coaching youngsters now, or offering coaching youngsters, because you can train it. If you train all these posture, running technique, changing direction, training legs. They don't know they're training legs, but you get them hopping, jumping, skipping, landing, balance. It becomes ingrained and they just do it naturally. That is why I'm really enjoying the opportunity to make a long-term difference. And legs is one of them. Hope that answers your question, Mark. Any other questions before I got to go? Be a feeling thing. I'm working a lot on cues at the moment. So instead of technical detail, which is very internal, what the technical cues, external cues, to work with bowlers to help them achieve that. So, for instance, to keep you tall at back foot contact, and it only happens in a fraction of a second, right? Reach up for the top shelf with your left arm. I'm assuming you're a right arm bowler. So as you're jumping up, reach up for the top shelf. That extends you and it keeps you up. Something like that. So external cues. It takes away. There is absolutely a time for internal technical sessions, but it's not in competition. It's not when you're training at nets, bowling at batters. It's certainly not when you're in matches. You want cues to keep your mind external. That is so important. This is where I think a lot of coaches and players haven't got it quite right, because we talk a lot of detail. We need to understand the detail. The players don't always need to, especially young players. They don't need the noise, the chatter of internal technical detail, because it's too much. They want to play the game. They want one thing. Look at the batters, Yorkers, for instance. Look at the batter's right shoe. Look at their laces. Land the ball on their laces. Bang, external, done. Anything else before I got to go? I don't. It's Saturday morning. You're spending your Saturday mornings with me. But I never take this stuff for granted. So thank you. Hopefully you found it interesting this morning. Mark, no problem. If anybody is interested, I've got an inner huddle where I'm sharing a hell of a lot more, particularly resources. I put together a confidence cue card, which I shared with the inner huddle. Is a subscription. It's not a lot, monthly fee. You join the group. Once a week, I share stuff that I don't always share on here, including resources like PDFs. The confidence cue card was an interesting one. But we have to, confidence is a skill. Without belief and confidence, without a coach instilling belief and confidence into the player, God, it's very difficult to go out and perform. That was where the cue card comes from. So if anybody is interested in joining that inner huddle, just pop me through a message. Right, I've got to shoot. I've got to finish this, which is oats, almonds, nuts and seeds, blueberries, protein powder, some other bits. Oh, there's a bit of Greek yogurt in there as well. Trying to look after myself. Whatever you're doing today, have a great Saturday, and thank you for joining me.